So, today's review features one of the most interesting climaxes that one will ever view on a movie. It's not exactly, say, like narrow alleys or on the streets or anything else. No, it actually takes place in a zoo. And it is, of course, Bird on a Wire. Directed by John Badham. It stars Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn and David Carradine. This is a 1990 film. It's an hour and 50 minutes long. And the plot is as superstars Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn team up in this non-stop action comedy directed by John Badham. Hiding under the FBI Witness Protection Program, Rick Jarman Gibson gets nervous when an old flame, Marianne Groves Hawn, recognizes him. Before he can assume a new identity, the man he put in jail, David Carradine, is released and comes to pay his respects. Rick and Marianne find themselves thrown together on an exhilarating cross-country scramble, barely evading the gangsters, police, and an amorous veterinarian, played by Joan Severance. Their whirlwind travels eventually leads them to an unforgettable climax in an elaborate zoo exhibit. PBS TV calls this film a roller coaster of a movie with hot action and wild humor. This bird soars. So, how do I feel about this movie? Well, it's like two ideas rolled into one. One of it is a concept that we've all seen before of an old flame being reunited. Two together, they just coincidentally come across paths, and one of them is on the run. The other half is comedy. There's some comedy going on. It's like any of the other movies that you'll see out there. Think of your Rush Hours. Think of Rush Hour. Think of like 48 Hours. Things like that. This unusual pair that comes together to try and solve a it tries to just evade some people who are trying to get after them. And alright. I find this, like, there were certain scenes where sometimes the humor didn't work, where both characters are atop like a little trestle, I guess the word is, and yet they're still doing some comedy rather than treating it seriously. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, just the concept of this, I guess, works. I mean, I had a good time. I laughed, but I feel kind of like in the beginning there was either a little too much on the comedy, but then they mixed it with the action. I don't know, just I liked it to a point. I think that sometimes the humor did overtake it when they were talking about Mr. Wiggly, which is a reference to a man's, you can put two and two together. There was a helicopter chasing that was pretty cool, where they both do a loop-de-loop. They do a barrel roll, if you will. If you know what I'm talking about, you're cool. Honestly, I think this should have been more action heavy, and yes, there is some action in here. There are some particularly good chasings in an alleyway, through a city, and an airplane, so you're getting variety. But just to give you an idea of the type of humor, there's an officer who is pursuing the two characters, and he is like, I'm currently in pursuit of them. They both manage to run through what is wet cement. The cop falls down, gets hit, splattered. Some guy says, "What are you doing to my sidewalk?" And he says, "I am not pursuing them anymore." So it's that type of corny-ish humor, but I guess that there's enough to keep it balanced. Some of it is kind of dad jokes, some of it is kind of funny, but I have to admit, there is some witty banter between here as they do rekindle their old relationship, where this guy, through the most over the top ways. Let's see, man, what does he do? He manages to get a truck that's a lemon for almost no cost. He manages to get a hotel room by promising that she is going to be a chambermaid. They have to clean 12 units. Just the And then there's the scene with a whole bunch of hairdressers and things like that. It's like, you're going to get me $2,000. You're going to apologize and then do my hair. So when they go to the bank, there's a nice little chase scene there, and then it's like, and then they get back. It's like, and there's more than enough to cover the damages. What damages? Flies through the front door with a motorcycle. This motorcycle goes on for a while. Some of it is funny, but honestly, the best part is the climax, the zoo. I'm not kidding. This was a 350 by 80 foot set, where they had 4 tigers, a monitor lizard, if I'm not mistaken, 6 chimpanzees. The only male bamboo in the world that is trained to be in front of a camera, and tigers, like 4 different tigers, where they actually had to create this elaborate set where, in order to protect like the tiger's paws, they had to go get, 60 tons of sand from Oregon, and then filter it so that there would not be any glass in the sand that would inflict damage on the tiger's paws. So they truly were ensuring that the animals were taken care of. I mean, I think the producer said, yeah, it's like, yeah, you've had all these action scenes before, you've had all the chases going on, but never in a zoo. And let me tell you, this is quite a climax, literally, because with the animals actually do take out one of the schmucks. It's like just monkeys, and there's kind of a funny scene where a monkey was I guess investigating / curiously looking at, like, what is this gun? That does kind of play into a part. So it was just to see this last 30 minutes of just this big set of these serious villains who managed to somehow get taken out by animals. Some reason I can believe that. I don't know, because, well, these are wild beasts. So, I guess if you want a movie that takes a lot, where it's how he manages to get stuff for free, she gets pulled into this. The action that vacillates between actually being pretty funny and just awfully cheesy, and a great climax that features, well, a whole bunch of animals, then I recommend that you turn your brain off, you watch this 6 out of 10 movie, Bird on a Wire.